If you're looking for something to watch this Thanksgiving weekend, WWE Survivor Series War Games event may be just what you're looking for. So, Survivor Series tends to be one of my personal favorite WWE events of the year, just because it's really the culmination of a lot of storytelling and really fun matches, so I find it really entertaining. If you've never seen Survivor Series or are completely new to WWE, I'm going to take you through everything that you need to know from the history, the War Games aspect, and the current lineup, everything that you need to know about this year's Survivor Series event for you to be able to tune in Saturday night and feel completely informed and know exactly what's going on. So, Survivor Series has a long and detailed history as WWE's second longest running premium live event, only behind WrestleMania, which is like their flagship show of the year. That's the biggest event of the year. So this is the second biggest event of the year, which is really crazy if you think about it. Survivor Series is considered one of the big four, which this is a term that's used to classify different PLE events, and it's the major four events. So you've got WrestleMania, Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. Those are the big four. So many famous and influential WWE superstars have actually made their debut at Survivor Series, which makes it even more interesting to watch every year because you never know who's going to come out and have a really big impact on WWE's future, because a lot of people have debuted, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which you may know even if you've never seen WWE. The Undertaker, another crazy influential figure, you probably have seen him before, and a faction called The Shield, which has a lot of current day superstars like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, who is now Jon Moxley. So that's just some of the backstory between Survivor Series. Now, I know you're probably thinking, like, okay, it's Survivor Series War Games. So what does War Games mean? Well, War Games is a style of match. So there are two set teams, and these have been established before the event happens. So these are teams that have been feuding with each other for weeks and months, maybe even months, before the event happens, so that you get the long-term storytelling between the two teams. So one member from each team starts inside of this cage that has two rings in it. So you've got two rings side by side and a massive cage surrounding both of those rings. So now one team member from each team starts the match, and then at regular preset intervals, one member from one of the teams enters the match. So you'll have a situation where one team has an advantage over another one. So you'll have two people to start, and then after one set interval, one person from, say, this team joins in. So now you've got 2-on-1. And now the next interval, somebody from this team comes in, and then the next interval, somebody from this team comes in. So there's a match beforehand to determine which team has the advantage, which is always interesting too. So the match can only end once all team members from each team are inside the ring, and the match can only win via pinfall or submission. So that is just always a chaotic match. You never know what's going to happen. You know who's going to be in it for the most part beforehand, but all bets are off for that one, and it's normally really, really chaotic. So this year's Survivor Series War Games is set to take place in San Diego, California on Saturday, November 28th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So as of now, the event will feature one men's War Games match, one women's War Games match, a Women's World Championship match, and one of John Cena's final matches before he hangs up the boots on December 13th of this year for the final time. So to watch the premium live event, fans in the United States can tune into ESPN Unlimited, while the event will stream internationally on Netflix. So my family personally doesn't have an ESPN Unlimited subscription, and we're in the US. So we actually use a VPN and then sign in from Canada and watch on Netflix, which is really interesting broadcast, I will say, because you still get the US commentators and everything, but there's less commercial breaks from what we've noticed, and a lot of the time when they go to commercial break, it'll just keep going with the match. So, and the commentators will still keep commentating, which is really interesting. So you get a little more bang for your buck, in my opinion, if you use a VPN. So now that you know a little bit about War Games and Survivor Series, you now know that Survivor Series has a rich and interesting history, and while the War Games match also has a storied history too, it adds a whole new element to Survivor Series that I think just adds another level of dynamic and just crazy energy to the event. So this year's Survivor Series War Games is set to be an insane event with a truly incredible lineup. So whether you have watched this event develop throughout the years, this will be its 39th year going. So whether you've watched it for a few years now or whether you're completely new to the sport and looking for something to watch this Thanksgiving weekend, Survivor Series may be the perfect show for you.